Welcome back to KMM Tech. Today we are going to set up the garage door controller and then set up a rule or two based on presence. So I just finished installing the garage door controller downstairs. So we need to add it to Hubitat first. So we're going to go to Devices and then Add Device. And let's see. Find device by type. And this is going to be garage door controller. It's a GoControl Start Z-Wave inclusion. Okay, it took a few times. I had to run back and down, up and down the stairs a few times. So I'm a little bit out of breath, but basically you had to put the Hubitat in inclusion mode, run down, hit the button. I think I was holding the button too long on the initial press. That's why it didn't work the first few times. But you press the button on the GoControl to link it. It flashes a red light a couple times and it beeps twice. And I came back up and it's here at this screen. So I'm going to call this garage door. Save. All right. Then it says, what do you want to do next? I want to automate devices, but I want to do it from the other screen. So I'm just going to ignore this. We're going to go back to apps. Okay, maybe not. Well, let's go to automate devices. If that's what they want me to do. Now I'm going to go to apps. I don't know that basic rules is going to get this done for me, but it might. So let's try basic rules first. In my previous version of Hubitat, I was all about doing everything in Rule Machine to keep everything kind of squared away, but there's a lot of really cool stuff baked into basic rules that take a lot of extra effort in Rule Machine. So let's see if we can get this done using a basic rule. If not, we'll install Rule Machine and then we'll go from there. So let's go to basic rules. And we're going to create a new basic rule. And this is going to be a presence sensor rule that everyone has left. So what I'm doing is I'm setting a rule that's basically going to say, when I leave, make sure the garage door is closed. So even though the garage door might be open or closed, it doesn't matter what state it's in. It's going to send a close command to the garage door. So the presence sensor, everyone has left. Choose my presence sensor. Okay, my presence sensor is my iPhone. And I'm going to update. So what do I want to do? When my iPhone leaves, what do I want to have happen? I want it to do none of those things. All right, well, this is a case where, actually, I do want it to send me a notification, but that's not what I want it to do. So because we can't do this in a basic rule, we're just going to go to remove. Yes, we're sure. And we're going to go to apps. And we're going to add a built-in app. And we're going to scroll down to Rule Machine. And we're going to create a new rule. Okay, so this is going to be, I'm going to call this my away rule. And what you're going to find out, this rule is going to expand as I add more devices. So what's going to happen is, for right now, because I only have the garage door controller plugged in as one of my devices, that's the only thing that's going to run this rule. So select a trigger event. My trigger event is going to be presence. The presence sensor I'm going to use is iPhone, and update. And I'm going to set this to leave. And that's my trigger event. So this basically says, okay, this is my trigger event. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, when this trigger happens, what's going to happen next? So I'm done with trigger events for right now. And the next thing I do is set actions. So we're going to select actions to run. And let's see. Set prior Boolean, capture, restore device polling, repeat actions. Okay, sorry to interrupt the video, and please excuse the state of the studio. It's a wreck. I had some Raspberry Pi failures last night, and trying to clean up that mess as well as trying to get some home automation stuff. Like I said, it's chaos around here. But in the process of doing this video, I ran into some issues with Hubitat, and I don't know, maybe it's the way they install the GoControl, or maybe things have changed. I don't know. So basically at this point, what happened was the option for controlling garage doors was not in Hubitat. I found out, and you'll see the video where I kind of discover this, that the device was listed incorrectly when it added the device inside of Hubitat. When that does that, Hubitat doesn't give you the option to have the garage door as an option to open and close. So from here on out, you'll see that I've discovered that. I'll show you how I corrected the issue. Then we'll go back into the rule, and then we'll finish up the video. Sorry to interrupt. Back to the video. Okay, sorry about that. I've got things figured out now. So here's what happened. I'm going to go back into the devices tab here for a second. So here's the device I added. Now you guys saw how I went through and added this. I went to add device. I found the device by type. I typed garage door. I hit garage door controller. I hit go control. I started the inclusion. I went down to hit my button. Despite all of that, when I went to the garage door, my device was listed as, the type was device. Now, this has never happened to me before. This is my third GoControl through Hubitat. Every single time I've done this, it has detected the right thing. It's used the right device, the right device driver. This time it didn't. I don't know whether this is a bug in a new update or whether this is something that's baked into the new system. I don't know, but I excluded it. I re-included it several times. Every single time I've done this, it has not changed that device type automatically. So Hubitat, if you're watching, I think this is a bug. Fix it. This is not something an average user would sit here and troubleshoot. I mean, this took me a half hour to figure out. You know, we're trying to get good user experience as far as I'm concerned. That's not a good user experience. So take a look at this. Make sure that this works in the future. So what you do here, once you add your garage door, you go to the device, you type in garage door. It is a generic Z-Wave garage door opener. Once you do that, there's a save device here. You're going to save the device. Now that we've done that, it gives you the commands for open, close, and refresh. So now I can open and close the garage door from here. So now that I've got this, what Hubitat does in an attempt to make this a user-friendly interface is if you don't have certain devices, it doesn't give you certain commands inside of Rule Machine. So if you looked at the screenshot, maybe I'll put a screenshot here of what I saw before, but now when I go back to apps and back to my away rule, I have an option under actions, which I didn't have before. And I forgot that Hubitat does this, where they don't include the options if you don't have them. So now if I go to add an action, you'll see I have this now, control HSM, garage doors, locks, valves, thermostats. So now I have this option. Now I can go ahead and finish my rule. But before I do that, now that I've got this, I want to go back to the basic rules. I want to see if I can do this through a basic rule. So we'll learn together. If not, we'll come back and finish this as a rule inside of Rule Machine. So let's go back to apps first. Basic rules, new rule. All right, we're going to call this a presence sensor. When everyone has left, choose the presence sensor. iPhone update, do this action. Still not there. Okay, so in this case, this is going to have to be a Rule Machine rule. Fine. I'm okay with that. So let's reopen our rule inside of Rule Machine. Here's our away rule. Okay, so here's the action that we're going to run. So when I leave my house, I want this garage door is going to open or close garage door. Bloop, 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 close. So open or so this is. All right, I see how they did. Okay, so if it's bold. Oh, Hubitat changed this. This is confusing too. My goodness. So there should be an open or a close. It used to be a drop-down menu that says open or close. This switch is very confusing. So if bold is open, it's going to open the garage door. If close is bold, it's going to close the garage door. Very confusing. Change it. Hate it. So close these garage doors. I like that it says close here. Fantastic job. Excellent. So we're going to close the garage door. Update. Now you can do a delay. In my case, I don't want a delay, so I'm going to be done with my action. And done with actions. So now the rule says, hey, if the iPhone leaves, close the garage door. So let's finish this rule. So now I've got a rule called my away rule, and it says when my phone leaves, it's going to close the garage door. I want to do one more thing to this rule. Just because I'm a little finicky about, or I've had issues in the past with Hubitat not working with my presence, I want to add one more thing. So I'm going to go to my actions to run, and I'm going to add an action. And I want it to, let's see, log a message, send maybe? Send, speak a message. So I'm going to say, you are now away. Oops. And the garage door has been closed. And then let's go to on these notification devices, my iPhone, update. I don't want to delay, done with action. So now what this is going to do, because I've had this issue, I want to make sure that this function actually runs. So iPhone leaves the house, garage door closes, and it sends me a notification to my phone that says, you are now away and the garage door has been closed. That way I know for sure that Hubitat has run this command. So like I said, in the past, I've had issues with Hubitat not detecting presence correctly, and I get in this weird loop where it thinks I'm away, but I'm home, and I have to run through this like command that puts me at home, which sets up all my it was a nightmare. Life 360 I found was much more accurate. I'm going to go back to Hubitat and give it a shot before I try the Life 360 thing. So there's that. This is my away rule. So I'm done. Now I'm going to create an arrival rule. And what the arrival rule is going to do is when I approach my house, it's going to open the garage door. Once I add other devices, other things will happen. The thermostat will change, lights will come on. And I'm even going to set rules where, if it's a certain time of day, like if it's after sunset, lights will go on, but those lights won't go on if it's still light outside. So let's create a new rule inside of Rule Machine. Okay, this is going to be arrival. All right, the trigger event is going to be arrival. It's going to be a presence rule. So my presence sensor is iPhone. And when it arrives, that's perfect. And we're done with trigger events. That's all we need. The actions to run. Control HSM garage doors, locks, blah, blah, blah. Open, close garage door. Again, stupid. Change this, please. We want it to open, so it's going to open these garage doors. Again, love that it says open there. Thank you. Garage door. Update. No delay. Done with action. All right. So my actions are done. In this case, I don't care if it sends me, I don't need it to send me a notification because I'm going to be so close to my home, I will know if the notification, if the action has run. So in this case, if my iPhone arrives into the geofence area, it's going to open my garage door. And done. So if you remember in our last video, that's the word I was looking for. The last video, we set mode manager. So if you remember back here, this presence will change automatically. In the past, I've used the presence to change home and away inside of the rule. I'm going to use it here inside of the mode manager. Otherwise, what you could do is you could use the rule here and you can put the mode change here. But because it's in mode manager, we're not going to do that. So yeah, that's it for this episode. I'm sorry it's been kind of a hodgepodge, but there were some issues with this, and like I said, I don't know whether it was a Hubitat thing or whether it was a me thing. Maybe this is something that you have to do with that device now. If it is, I hate it. Hubitat, go back to the way it was. But yeah, so the other thing, the little complaint about the little toggle switch with the open garage door, closed garage door, again, Hubitat, if you're watching, I find it confusing. Change it. But yeah, I think that's it for today. So I'll test this rule going forward for probably the next week or so. If I have a failure, we're going right to Live 360, and then I'll show you how to do that if that's the case. And then that's it for this episode, guys. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you guys next time. See ya.